Welcome to the Bricks integration for Frontend Admin. Frontend Admin is the ultimate solution when it comes to front-end content management. It's perfect for allowing your users to have control over their website while not breaking their website. Now, with the Bricks integration, you can have full control over the style and layout as well. Using Bricks and Frontend Admin together, you can create the ultimate front-end dashboard that fits your site's brand and styles. Now, before you watch this video, I want you to know that you can download the template in the description of the video instead of going through this whole video yourself. If you want to learn about Bricks and Frontend Admin, then you should definitely watch this video. But if you want to skip all that, you can go ahead and download the template and start using Frontend Admin with Bricks today. Let's come into Bricks and type Frontend. Here you'll see all of our elements that will allow your users to edit their content from the front end. Let's take a look at this page I've created, for example. If I come in here as a user, I can click edit and edit the content. I can come in here and delete any post I want, and I can add new posts. Now, what happens if a user visits this site and is not logged in? Let's visit this page in an incognito window, and as you can see, none of those elements appear. So now let's go back and log in as an administrator, and here I'm at on the front end of the website. And let's say I want to add a new post. All I have to do is click new post, drop in the title, let's drop in some content. Let's go ahead and add a featured image, and let's add a YouTube link. Click submit, and as you can see, my post has been submitted. Now let's say I want to make a small change. So let's go ahead and click edit post, and go ahead and submit. And my post has been changed successfully. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how I did this using the Frontend Admin elements. However, if you want to take a shortcut and just download the template and upload that to your site, that's fine. We're going to add a link to the template in the description of this video. Let's click on new page. And let's call this page Bricks Dashboard. And click edit with Bricks. Here I'm given a blank canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and add a div element. And let's go ahead and add some padding to that. And let's add a heading. Let's go ahead and add another div which will contain all the posts. So go ahead and drag that right under the heading. And you're going to want to add another div, which is going to hold each individual post. Go ahead and use the query loop and pull in all the posts. Add the post title. We're also going to want the post image. So let's go ahead and drag an image field above the post title. And an excerpt. Let's drag that right under the post title. We're also going to want to add a button that's going to hold the link to the video that we had. Add the image, select the featured image via dynamic data. Featured image. So now it's pulling in the featured image. Now let's change the main div to flex, but we want to change the width of the image to be 300, no more than 300. Doesn't need to be so, the resolution doesn't need to be so large. Let's change that to 300. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's change that to 150, and let's limit the width of each inner div to 300. And finally, let's put a gap between each post. So let's go up to the content. Let's do column gap. Okay, great. So now we have our post list. And the last thing we want to do for now is populate this button text Let's change it to watch video, because this is going to link to a video on this subject. And let's go ahead and change the link type to dynamic data, and let's pull in an ACF URL field. So let's go ahead and scroll down all the way to ACF and choose YouTube link. Now every post has a YouTube link. It's an ACF field that we've added. Now let's say the user didn't populate this field with a YouTube link. We're going to want this button to not show up. So in order to do that, go ahead and click on the button and click on conditions and add a condition. The condition will be, let's scroll down to dynamic data, and under dynamic data, let's scroll down all the way to ACF, choose YouTube link, and choose is not empty. This way, if the user does not populate that field, this button will just not show up. Great, let's go ahead and save our changes. And now that we have the layout all set up, let's go ahead and add the edit button and the delete button and the new post button. So the easiest part is the delete button. We just have to drag that in and it will be set up. Let's go ahead and search for delete button, delete post. Let's drag that right underneath this button. And we actually want it to be side by side with the edit button. So let's go ahead and already from now we're going to add a div that's going to contain the edit button and the delete button. So let's go ahead and drag this div right above the delete post button. And let's go ahead and drag the delete post into that div. And let's change the display of this div to flex. Let's change the align main axis to space between. That way there will be space between the delete post button and the edit post button. So the delete post button actually has conditions already built in. So these are the conditions that are already built into the delete post element. You can change this to whatever you want. You might want to add editors here. You might want this to show up to all authors as well. So now let's go ahead and add the edit post button. This requires two steps. First, we're going to add the form inside of an off canvas element. And then we're going to add the button that opens up that off-canvas element. So let's go ahead and start with the off-canvas element. Off-canvas, let's go ahead and drag this off-canvas element right underneath the edit post. Empty this off-canvas element. We'll leave the toggle. And let's open it up. Go into content and toggle on keep open while styling. This way we can keep this open while we're doing things here. Let's go ahead and add an edit post form into this off canvas. So in order to do that, look for the edit post form. And as you can see here, there's two form elements. There's edit post form and edit course form. Edit course is a custom post type that I've added. And if you have any custom post types, an element will automatically be added for the edit form and for the new form. But here in this video, we're dealing with standard posts. So let's go ahead and drag the edit post form into the content. And that's it. We have our edit post form inside of the off canvas. Now let's go ahead and add a little bit of padding to the content of the off canvas. Go into the style tab, into the layout, and go ahead and link all the sides. And let's add just 30 pixels of padding to all sides. That looks a bit better. Make this a bit wider. 450. And let's make this whole edit post form 100% wide. That looks much better. Here we have all the fields we need. We have the title field, featured image, content, and excerpt. And we also have the ACF fields. This is automatically added based on your custom post type. One more thing we want to do is change this toggle. Let's change the icon of the toggle to an X. Font awesome regular, and let's look for an X. Let's change it to this icon. And let's change the positioning to fixed. Change the top to 0 and the right to 0. Let's add a little bit of offset to the top. Let's say 40 pixels. And let's make the icon a bit bigger. Let's change it to 25 pixels. And now we have the toggle icon right here on the top. Let's also add a heading to this off canvas. Edit post. Drag a heading right above the form. Now let's change the text to edit post. Great, let's save our changes. And now we have the edit post form. And now we just need to add a button that will open up this form. Search for your elements and search for a button. Drag that right underneath the delete post button or above. Let's change the name to edit post. We're going to want to add an interaction here. Let's add an interaction. Let's change the trigger to click. Action toggle off canvas. And here, this is the really cool thing about bricks. It will be very dynamic. Each post will open up its own off canvas. So in order to do this, we have to target that specific post's off canvas. Give this a class name, post edit, and let's add the dynamic ID. Post ID. Save this and go back into the off canvas, and under the classes, go ahead and add this class name. Post edit, post ID. As you can see, it's already found here. So let's add it. Let's save our changes and see how it looks on the front end. Next, what we need to do is let's go change the text of this button. Close this off canvas. Change the text of the button to edit post. Add an icon. We're going to want to add a pencil icon. Search for pencil or edit. There we go. We found the pencil. And now we have these two buttons side by side. Edit post and delete post. Let's change this actually to edit and not edit post. There we go. And also this we want to have delete because we know we're talking about the current post. Add some more space here. Space around. Yeah, so let's go ahead and add some margin to this div. Open up the style tab and let's add some top margin of 30. That way it's disconnected from the content of the post. So you have the post content and then you have the edit and delete buttons. Now let's talk about the conditions of the edit button. So the edit button has no conditions, so this will show to everybody. But the edit post form will only show to the administrators and to the author of the post. So let's go ahead into the off canvas and you can see what I'm talking about. Go into the edit post form, and if you click on the conditions of the edit post form, you'll see that the conditions are built in. They'll only show to administrators, and it also will only show to the author of this post. If you want this button to have the same conditions, all you need to do is go ahead and add those conditions to the button. So let's go into the button and add a condition. Add a condition that it will only show if the user role is equal to administrator or to editor. And let's add another or condition that will only show if the user ID is equal to the author ID. So now the edit button as well will only show to administrators or the author of this post. Alright, the last step is to add a new post form. So we're going to take the same approach as we did with the edit post form. We're going to add the button and then we're going to add the form within the off canvas widget. Now the truth is we have everything basically set up in the edit post form. We just need to make small changes. So let's go ahead and just copy the off canvas. Paste it right over here. So now we have an off canvas with an edit post form under the main div. Click on this off canvas, go into the content tab, and let's keep it open. So we have an edit post form, but we're not editing any post. So let's go ahead and change a few things. First, we want to change this heading to new post. Go into the edit post form, and first of all, change the name to new post form. And under the post tab, let's change this from edit post to new post. And you can choose your new post type. And if you want to do this all from scratch using a new post form, you can do that by searching for the new post form. I just took a little shortcut here. Because all the fields are the same, we have everything set up already. We're going to want to go into the off canvas and remove this class and add a new post class. So now we have this new post class. Let's go ahead and save that in our clipboard, and we're going to need that for the new post button. So now let's go ahead and add a button element and drag that right above the off canvas. Let's change the name to new post button. Again, let's drag it right above the off canvas, the new post canvas. Let's also change this name, new post off canvas, and let's add an interaction here. Trigger this interaction when the button is clicked. Toggle on off canvas, and add this class that we just copied into our clipboard. Let's just go ahead and type it. New post. And now this button will open up this new post off canvas. Close this off canvas so we can see how it looks. Once again, let's change this button text to new post. And now let's add an icon, font awesome regular, and let's search for the plus symbol. Here we go, plus. Put this into the div, into the main div. Center the button under the style tab. Let's go to the main div and change it to the display to flex and flex vertical. So I went ahead and added a div, and I added this new post button into that div. And so now it's centered in the middle of the page, and now you can add a new post from here. Let's go ahead and save our changes and see how it looks on the front end. I actually changed the title of this to coding blog, and I have here my posts and my edit and delete buttons. Now one thing I notice here is that when I hover over it, it's not giving me a pointer. In order to add a pointer, let's go ahead and in this button under the content tab, let's go ahead in the link type, add a custom URL and add a little number symbol. Let's do this also for the new post button. Now this won't take the user anywhere. It will just give us that little pointer. You can also add this with CSS, but I'm going to go ahead and add it like this. And there you go. Now I have a little pointer when I hover over the edit button, and I have a pointer when I edit over the new post button. So let's go ahead and test all these out, make sure it works. So the edit button, when I click on it, it opens up this little edit form. I can change this YouTube link to whatever I want. Let's leave that, and let's make a few changes here. Let's just add a test to the excerpt. Actually, I won't see it here because it's shortened, so let's go ahead and add it to the beginning. Instead of learn how we can create. Instead of learn how to, learn how we can. And let's change something in the title. Instead of HTML5, let's change it to HTML. And let's submit the form, see if this change occurs. And if it does, then everything is working fine. Okay, so the page reloaded, and now I can see my changes have been reflected on the front end. Next, let's test the delete button. Let's go ahead and delete this. And as you can see, the post has been deleted. Now, finally, let's go ahead and test the new post form. Let's add a title. Let's add an image. Let's add some content. Let's add an excerpt. And let's add a YouTube link. And let's go ahead and submit the form. And as you can see, my new post has been added successfully. So there you have it. Frontend Admin gives your users the ultimate front-end content management experience. And now with Bricks and Elementor, you have full control over the style and layout of all the elements in the front-end dashboard. Don't forget, there is a link to a template in the description below. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a huge like.